Sleep never came. I lay stiff beneath my blanket, eyes open wide, staring into the blackness that felt thicker than night should ever be. The whispers still echoed in my mind, crawling through every thought like a cold spider. I'm closer now. I truly tried to convince myself it was sleep paralysis or a nightmare creeping into reality. But the chilling breath I felt against my ear, the weight of that unseen presence hovering over me. Nightmares don't leave frost on your skin. I waited. Minutes stretched into hours. The house remained silent, except for my racing heartbeat. Eventually, the first pale hints of dawn crept through the window. Light safety, or so I hoped. I pushed the blankets aside and sat up, every bone trembling. My room looked normal again. No shadows moving. No whispers hiding between the walls. For a moment, I dared to breathe. But when I stepped onto the floor, the wood felt colder than usual, so cold it burned. I looked down, for faint, perfectly round prints-like fingertips were pressed into the wooden planks right beside my bed. They hadn't been there last night. I jerked my foot away as if the floor itself had turned into ice. A dizzy wave rushed through me. Someone or something had been standing inches from my bed while I was frozen in fear. I stumbled backward and grabbed my phone. My hand shook so violently that I almost dropped it. I considered calling a friend, the police, anyone. But what would I even say? There's something invisible walking around my room. They whispered in my ear and left handprints by my bed. They'd send me to a psychiatrist. Instead, I forced myself out of my room and hurried downstairs. The sunlight filling the living room felt warm, soothing. It washed some of the fear from my skin, but not from my bones. I spent the morning trying to distract myself, but every time a shadow shifted or something creaked, I flinched. I kept glancing over my shoulder, convinced something was following me from room to room, and I wasn't entirely wrong. Around noon, as I stood in the kitchen pouring myself a glass of water, I saw movement reflected in the shiny surface of the fridge door. Something tall, thin, standing right behind me. I spun around. Nothing, but the cold returned, wrapping itself around my spine like an icy hand. "I see you." The whisper was so faint I wasn't sure if it came from the air or from inside my own mind. I dropped the glass. It shattered on the floor. I backed away, breath coming in short, sharp bursts. I felt watched constantly. Even in daylight, the house no longer felt like mine. By evening, the dread had become unbearable. I couldn't stay there any longer. I needed noise, people, anything to drown out the feeling of being hunted by something I couldn't see. I grabbed my bag and rushed outside. But the moment I tried locking the front door, a cold gust brushed the back of my neck like fingertips trailing down my skin. I turned slowly. Nothing was behind me. Yet the air shimmered, as if something massive had just moved out of sight. I didn't wait. I ran. I didn't stop until I reached my friend Adil's house. He opened the door with a confused frown. "Bro, are you okay? You look like you saw a ghost." I wanted to laugh, but the words stuck in my throat. "Can I stay here tonight?" was all I managed. He led me in, still watching me with concern. For a while, being around someone helped. We talked, watched TV, tried to act normal. As night settled, he tossed me a spare blanket and I lay on the couch. I almost believed I had escaped it, because around 2 a.m., I woke up to the unmistakable feeling of someone standing inches from my face. I held my breath. Adil slept upstairs. No one else was in the house. Slowly, my eyes drifted to the dark corner near the hallway. Too faint. Silver circles hovered in the blackness, eyes watching me, unblinking, unmoving, waiting. A whisper slid across the room, soft as silk but cold enough to freeze blood. "You left, but I follow." The eyes blinked once,